we're going to be doing today, guys, is we're working on two different skill sets. With me, we're going to be working on using sensory details to make your writing more descriptive. Then when you're with Miss Levitt, we're going to use what we know about sensory details to rewrite a memory for Jonas. So when you're writing your memory for Jonas from the giver, you want to use some of the things that we learned about sensory details. So the first thing that we're going to start doing is I'm going to show you how you're going to fill out your sensory details chart. So I want you guys to refer to the reading. This is an example of setting and how somebody could write a descriptive setting. So when you guys are looking at this, I want you guys to take 1 minute to look over and find an example of a sensory detail and underline it. And then I'm going to give you guys the opportunity. Can anyone find an example of something that might be a touch, a taste, or a smell? Melanie?
In the third paragraph,
Okay.
where it says the kids race over to the truck and select treats, vanilla cones, chocolate crunch bars, whitely colored ice pops. In minutes, the treats are devoured and the kids return to their energetic play.
Okay, so what would be something that tells you how the treats taste? A good descriptive word in there.
Good, because they say it devoured.
Devoured, fantastic. So instead of saying, oh, they just ate it, they thought they were great, devoured really shows that they're almost ravenous about it. So do you see the language that we're using here? So good. Let's try this again. Crap! Oh, I know, right? It should scare you. It's thunder.
Oh.
Do you see how I'm reading? I'm reading the sensory details. If I scream at you crack, you feel scared, right? Or you're like, oh, that says something. But if I'm not screaming at you crack, you don't get it's thunder. It's like, oh, it's thundering, right? So let's put really, really big undersound crap. Can somebody look at the bottom and tell me what that's an example of? Onomatopoeia. Fantastic, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do when we break into groups, half of you guys are going to be going with Miss Levitt. The other half of you guys are going to stay with me. We're going to go for 20 minutes. We're going to switch groups. And then when we come back together, we're going to go over a little bit of sharing about what we learned in each other's groups, because your guys' experiences are going to be a little different. Mr. Angel, could you switch with Miss Levitt for me so that she can teach the mini lesson? Thank you. Before we get going, we're waiting for Miss Levitt to come in. It says emotional reaction to the subject. Does anyone know why I would want you to have an emotional reaction to the writing? Ilana.
To see how he wants to felt about what description they were having.
Okay, so they're describing something because it makes you feel something, right? Do you think that this kind of writing made you feel something about it? Did it remind you of anything? Joshua, you're saying yes. What did it remind you of?
It reminded me of a thunderstorm.
A what?
Thunderstorm.
Okay, a thunderstorm. What about the setting? Because it's saying, imagine a hot summer day. The sun beats down on the blacktop and the city air rises up in a zigzag. Light bounces off the cars parked on the street. For a time, the only sound heard throughout the neighborhood is the steady hum of fans laboring to cool residents from the sweltering temperatures. Laboring, that's a great word too. It's not like, oh, it's hard, you're laboring. Let's get, Joseph, what are you feeling?
I'm feeling like a summer day in Harlem.
Summer day in Harlem, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, Brian?
I'm thinking of a very, 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 very drought hot day where people are working hard, they're all sweaty and nasty.
Okay, that's good. So, a dry, hot, summer day in Harlem, like Joseph said. Where people are sweating. Now, you guys aren't filling this out because you're going to need it for your own.
Oh.
Ooh.
I only put like 3 words.
Okay.
I don't know if the ball is done, but that big blue line across the board is.
It doesn't bother me. Does it bother you guys?
Well, it's catching my eye.
It's a challenge for you to pay attention to it. Okay, so you have an emotional reaction. If, hello, Ms. Levitt. So you're having an emotional reaction to this. If I said it was a dry, hot summer day, are you getting an emotional reaction?
No.
But I'm saying basically the same thing. The tone.
Because the readers want to be able to visualize what you're saying.
Visualize. You want to be able to visualize. You felt Brian felt himself there. He felt sticky. He felt gross. He was seeing the people around him. When I think of this, I think of like the way the garbage smells in the city sometimes. But then I also see how it's cool. Like I imagine kids running to the ice cream man. I hear the sounds of the ice cream truck. I smell. You know how it smells when it first starts raining and people pop open a fire hydrant and you can smell kind of like it going onto the cement? Like when I'm reading this in this description, I'm feeling it and I'm there. So I want you guys to keep in mind what you're feeling when you're reading this, because when we break up into groups, I've broken you guys into 4 different groups. What I did to break you guys up into groups is I read your interest surveys. I found things that you guys might be interested in together that you might be more inspired to write a better description of than something if it was like, oh, you're really, really into traveling, but I made you write a description of your bedroom. So, people in group 1 with Africa, your common interest on the long interest surveys that you took. A lot of you guys either like to learn about other cultures or languages, or you liked Africa. This group, you guys were into Japan or Asian cultures, or anime or learning other languages. Tons of people have collected seashells before, so that was kind of hard to put you guys in a group. This group is people like seashells or sports. Washington, D.C. was people who like history, architecture, politics, or law. So I'm going to give you guys a minute. When we break up, if you guys see the numbers next to you, that's the group that you're in based on computers. So when you come with me, I'm going to take Africa and Japan first. I want computer 1 to be here, computer 2 here, computer 3 here, and computer 4 here. What you're going to do when you get here is you're going to sign on to N grade. You're going to go to the calendar and you're going to click on today's date, and it gives you a lesson, and you have a video that's of the setting. It's either a beach of Washington, D.C., of something in Japan, or a safari in Africa. When you're watching your video, the first time, all I want you to do is watch it, see what it's about. The second time, you're going to be at your chart. You're going to write in the sensory details that you see. The third time you watch it, I want you to clarify some of those details and put in some descriptive words, okay? Any questions about how we're going to move into groups? Leilani?
Is number 2 supposed to be my name?
Yeah, did I spell it wrong?
Yeah, you just put in the A.
L-A-Y? My bad, I apologize.
Okay.
Everyone spells my name wrong, so I thought you guys should have yours spelled wrong.
Miss,
S-O-N-E.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the drill is when we rotate, just like every other time. We're 8th graders, we can handle it, we're cool. I'm going to give you a minute. For those of you who are in the beach group or the Washington, D.C. group, I want you to sit in the back 2 rows. You're going to be paying attention to this Levitt. You guys have 20 minutes